Every time someone books a call on your calendar, there are silent 20-30 minutes that you spend without thinking about it. You first go through their website, you figure out if they are qualified for your service or your product. If they are, then you prepare for the call. If they are not, then that's great. You just decline the invitation. And if it's somewhere in between, then you have to ask multiple questions. You have to figure out if they are the right fit or not. All of this actually takes a good chunk of your time. At least it was taking my time. I had to research their websites, go through their LinkedIn's, their company website. I had to figure out the signals that showed me that they were the right fit for the company. I created a Claude code workflow that does this entire process. We built this live on last Sunday's live stream, and this is one of the leads that actually came in through this morning. This agent ran automatically. It sent a message on the new leads channel on my Slack. So I gave it 3 criteria for qualifying the lead. This lead passes all of them. Then it gave me the overview of the company, what might be their current gaps, like why they are looking to work with us, who is the key decision maker, and what are the talking points and angles that I can take on the call. Honestly, this is amazing. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can set this up for yourself. And in the later part, I will also show you how you can build out such automations from scratch so that you can scale your company without scaling your headcount. So let's get started. First thing is you need to go to the document in the description below. You will find this document over there. Either you can follow each of these steps one by one, or if you want to get done with it quickly, you just copy this entire set of instructions, go to your Claude code. So I will open a new session here. I will select a new folder. I already have this lead qualification folder. So you can just create a new folder by this name. All you have to do is just click on this, click on open folder, and create a new folder for this specific task. Then you just type in, I want to create this agent, can you please follow these instructions? And that's it. It's as simple as that. Once you do it and once you send it, then it will show you all the next steps of the process. So let me show you like how this agent works and what these processes are. In my case, I'm using cal.com for scheduling all of these calls on my website. This is how the flow looks like. When someone goes on my website, which is Impulse Labs, they click on this button or any other button on the website. All of them take them to this link where they can book a call. And once they select a slot, then the meeting goes on my calendar. So that's the initial point. Now we wanted to pass all these information to our agent, which we are using through Claude routine. For that, we wanted something in between, something that converts the signals that we are getting from cal.com, which is basically the webhook from there, into a signal that Claude routine can understand, which is basically an API call. And once it comes here, then this entire process runs. So you can either set this up for your email or you can also set this up for your own Slack. That's the entire thing that is happening on the background. And once you send this message, then Claude will ask for your permission a couple of times. The next step would be that it will be logging in through the terminal into your Cloudflare account. You have to go to this link. You have to go to cloud.com and you have to create a new account. I already have one, so I can use the same one, but that's it. You just need to have an account. This would work on the free tier itself. You don't need any paid tools for this except for Claude, which I assume you are already on the $20 or $100 plan. That would be a requirement for setting up this workflow. Once you have created the Cloudflare account, then all you have to do is you have to come back over here on Claude and it will log in into your Cloudflare account based on these instructions here. So that's number one. So once it does that, then it will give you a webhook. You have to ask it, can you please provide me URL for the webhook? You just mention once it has deployed the script, then it will provide you the URL for the webhook. Effectively, Claude will do step 1 and step number 3 for you. Step 2 and 4 are the things that we would be setting up manually. So it ran through all the first steps. Now the next thing for me to do is I have to ask it for the prompt that I can use with the Claude routine, and I have to ask it for the cal.com webhook, basically the URL that I would be needing for it. I will just type in this message. I will ask it, can you please provide me prompt for the Claude routine and please provide me the URL for the cal.com webhook. and I will send this message. It gave me the entire prompt. Now you can customize this prompt for exactly your use case. I have mentioned my company, I've mentioned my name and the channel on Slack on which I wanted to send all the reports. The second thing is it gave me the subscriber URL. Once I have this URL, the next step starts for me, which is the step number 4 from the document from the description. So step number 4 asks me to go on cal.com. So I will do that. I will go on cal.com and I will go to app. So this will take me on the dashboard. Now over here, I will check the next step, which is to go to the settings page. So I will go to settings. Then the next step is to go on the developer section. So I will find the developer section. Yes, I see the developer section. And then I have to go within webhooks here. So within webhook, you will see that I already have a webhook deployed, but the process for creating this is you just click on new, you select the event you want it to notify. In my case, I only want to keep booking created, like the rest of the stuff can be removed from here, but this gives you idea on what all information you can extract from this webhook. So for example, if you would want to send an email after a meeting is ended, you can also automate that using this webhook and a bunch of different use cases. So all you have to do is you have to mention the subscriber URL here, and then you would have to mention a secret here. So let's ask Claude for the secret. Can you also provide the secret? And then it will give me the secret that I have to put here. So this is basically a way of this webhook knowing that it is being sent to the right place. And then you just copy paste that signing secret and you paste this here and you click on create webhook. That creates the webhook for you. And once you have created the webhook, I will tell Claude I have set up the webhook. Now tell me how to set up the Claude routine. Basically what we have to do is you go on this top left section, which is called routines. You come here, click on new routine. You select remote because you want this routine to run even when your system is off. And you type in the name, lead qualification agent. Then you provide the instructions here. So this is basically what we would be copying from the instructions that were provided to us on Claude. So I will come up here. I will select this entire thing. I will go back on routines. I will again create the routine and I will drop entire instructions. Now for this to work, there is one thing that needs to be there, which is your Slack needs to be connected with Claude. If you have not set this up, all you have to do is go on Claude.ai. Now, once you come here, you have to go to the customize section. So go to customize, click on connector. Here, just click on this plus icon, browse connectors and select Slack from here. Once your Slack is connected, make sure that you have turned on all of these, like specifically the one that is required in this case is send message. So make sure that you have given your approval for Claude to use the send message option. In my case, I've made all the options available to Claude, but you can decide yourself. So once you have turned it on, then just remove rest of the connectors from here and only keep Slack. So I will remove all of these connectors and I will only keep Slack here. So we have all the connectors. Now for trigger, I will select API. I will create this and this will create a token. Now this is the token that would be used for triggering this entire workflow. So I will copy this and I will drop this in my Claude session. Now our routine is set up. We have to go back on Claude and you just need to drop in. Then it would have the routine token. Now, apart from that, only one thing that we still need to share is the routine URL. So for that, you would have to go on claude.ai/code/routines. Once you come up here, then you will see a same screen as your Claude code and you will see the lead qualification agent that we just created. Now select the entire URL that we have on top of here and also share this in the chat. And once you share it, then Claude will wire all of this together and it will start working. That's the entire setup. Once you send this, then Claude will set it up. And then you can test it by booking a meeting on your calendar and it will send a message on your Slack. Now we have our agent set up. Although this entire thing has a certain limitation, this works well for a smaller number of leads. If you are getting 5 to 20 leads, then this system works for you because the $100 plan only lets you run 20 routines every day. If you are getting a higher number or if you would want to include more custom signals into this entire process, then it would make sense to build out a custom AI agent for this. You can either use NA10 for building this out, or you can also build a custom solution just using Claude Code. And that is where actually the sponsor of today's video come in, Comet API. Comet API allows you to connect with all the AI models using just one setup. So it's similar to how you set up OpenAI within any of your agent, but you can access a bunch of different agents from there. You can access all of OpenAI's models from there. You can also access latest models from Grok, open source models from Kimi, Minimax, and all of these providers. And the cool thing is you don't have to change the setup every time you want to change this model, because that is a part of the process. You try out the entire workflow with multiple models and then you figure out which is the best model for your own task. And the second great thing about using Comet API is that it provides you rates that are cheaper than the actual API. And honestly, like, I've been using Comet API for a lot of my own projects, and it makes it very simple to set it up, because all I have to do is set it up once and then I can keep switching the model every time. And second, it is cheaper than the actual provider, so that saves me a lot of money. You can use the link in the description to use Comet API, or you can just go on their website and use it yourself. But I will highly recommend using Comet API if you are building out a custom agent. Now back to the video. If you want to build out this agent from scratch, or if you want to build out agents like this for your own company or for your customers, then let me tell you how that works. So initially, we did this entire process on our last week's stream. We started out with figuring out that what we wanted to build, like this entire workflow of booking a call, the endpoint firing, and then the agents receive it, research, evaluates, then defining all the criteria on what all we wanted the agent to do. Apart from that, the next thing was we also specified that what exactly the qualification criteria has to be. Now the next thing is, once we have done it, then we define the system design, and this is where you have to put in the research. You have to research the workflow that you already have. So in my case, I was using cal.com. If you want to build this entire workflow for calendly.com, then you can just switch with Calendly and the entire workflow will remain the same. So whenever we are creating a workflow or an agent like this using AI, the first step is to always research. Once you have researched, then the next step is to extract. So for extraction, we have to go over the documentation of cal.com, of Claude routine, basically every technology that we are using within the workflow. So if you come on this document, you will find this one first prompt. This prompt basically tells Claude that we want to build out an agent, and it asks it to research all the relevant documentations before building this out. So you copy this first prompt and then you open up a new window within your Claude code and you drop it. This will prompt Claude to create a new file with all the relevant documentation of cal.com that is required for building out the agent. So that's the first part. Now the next thing is, once it has gone through the entire documentation of all the technologies that you're using, then the next step for you is to build out a plan using all that documentation. So you have to specify what exactly you are trying to build. So over here, I mentioned we want to connect the webhooks that we get from cal.com along with a Claude routine. For doing that, we need a script in between that we will be deploying on Cloudflare workers. It would be connected with both cal.com and also connected with Claude routines. Make sure that you have understanding of how this entire process works. On the basis of that, make a plan on how we create that script. Also go through both the research document and give us the exact steps that need to be done for creating the right on cal.com and for creating the entire API setup on Claude routines. That would be the second prompt in the process through which you would be creating the plan. So again, these are the four major steps. We create a plan, we extract all the information from relevant documents. So now we are reaching the third step with prompt number 2 here. So it's still running the first prompt. Once it's done, then I will share the next prompt, or you can also queue it here and it will directly pick it up once the first step is done. And once that is done, then you move on to the last step of the process, which is to execute. So for that, first agent needs to create the entire plan and then you execute on top of it. Lastly, the third prompt here will help you create the prompt that we use within the Claude routine that we just set up. And this is how you build out this entire AI agent from scratch for your own business or for your client's business. If you are interested in building sessions like these where we build out these automations from scratch, then I will highly recommend you to join these sessions that we have on every Sunday on the same YouTube channel. You can join in, and we build out a new AI agent every Sunday. The objective is to build out AI agents that simplify our lives. For me, I see a lot of gaps within my own business where I can fit in these small AI agents to solve that thing and save me time. Every Sunday, we pick out one of these problem and we build it out live together on the stream. It's usually at 6 p.m. IST or 8:30 a.m. ET. And hopefully I will see you on the next one. And that's all for this video. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.